Countries who have executed their monarchs. Obviously, the main focus will be France. They've been the most famous example, probably. But there's two categories here in blue: monarchs that have been executed under the orders of a foreign power, and then monarchs executed by domestic actors, so the very own people. France is one of the only places on Earth where they have both. Should we be surprised? Funny enough, the English people themselves have been the only ones to execute their own monarchs. I have a feeling, though, that we know who executed the Welsh and Scottish monarchies. Mexico at a time had an Austrian monarch. They didn't like him very much and got rid of him. But there's also Russia, Serbia, Italy, Israel, what? Of course, Russia, Mongolia, China. I actually have a feeling this map is not accurate too. There's probably so many examples in history. It depends on how far you want to go back. But how many have eaten their prime ministers? Yeah, just try to lie low, Netherlands. The influence of non-voters in US elections is among presidential elections between 1976 and 2020. And as you can see, the vast majority of the time, the most popular thing to do is just not vote at all. I'm assuming this is out of eligible voters. For most of the previous century, this number hovered around the 40 percentile region. There's 2008 where a lot of people voted, but here comes the unbelievable year of 2020. That was the first time in over 50 years where did not vote was not the most popular option. A third of the country still did not vote, but 34% of the country voted Joe Biden. 31% of the country still voted Trump, which is still more than he got in 2016. This really puts into perspective how big that election was. We want to make any predictions what will happen this time? I have a weird feeling that this will not repeat in 2020. I bet you it goes back to a majority of people don't vote. We'll see though. 2020 was just a crazy time. So look at some of these third-party candidates. Bro got 11% of the vote in 1992. The average age of all Olympic athletes participating in the Olympics. This is just for Paris 2024. What 11-year-old participated in the Olympics? Man, I feel like a failure. Oh, she's 11 from China. She participated in skateboarding. Man, that's based. Imagine what she's gonna do when she's 15 for the next one. But there was apparently a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old, a couple 14-year-olds. The median age in general is 26, which I would think that's like slightly older than I would have expected. I thought you're in your like peak physical prime around like 23, 24. But 90% of athletes are between the ages of 19 and 36. Man, 36, that's really kind of up there. Meanwhile, the oldest athlete this year was a 69-year-old. Oh, I guess that kind of does make sense why she could still be doing that. She's represented Australia for 6 Olympic Games. And there was people of all ages competing, like pretty much every age bracket from 11 to 69. There's still hope for me yet. About to join the U.S. Olympic basketball team. The top 3 importers of Olympic sport products. To start things off, we have America bringing in almost $1 billion of water equipment. What the? How does that? $1 billion? It's not $1 billion, but it's getting close to that. That's insane. South Korea bringing in $500 million worth of just golf clubs. I heard golf clubs are expensive, but this is crazy. 82. This is. Is this in million? It's hard to even believe this. In freaking tennis balls. I know you need a lot of tennis balls, but that's crazy. Gym equipment. Okay, that makes sense. That's expensive. It's heavy, but dang, 3.4 billion. Ski bindings. Oh, it's Austria taking number 1 there. Snowboarding boots, just the boots alone. Table tennis equipment. I figured that China was going to be up there. Dang, China still wins that. Why are we even? Well, they're going to win all the time, right? Why are we spending this much on table tennis? Look at this. Look at this. We literally didn't win a single medal in table tennis, yet we spent $60 million bringing in equipment. What the fuck? That's got to make this even more painful. Okay, here's swimming equipment. That's $1 billion. Imagine spending all this money to bring in the equipment, and yet your athletes don't come with the money, with the gold. It's actually just kind of funny to look at. I mean, dang, France, you're not providing any of this stuff? Maybe that's not their job, but still. GDP growth projections as of 2024. So in the emerging markets category, like China, India, and Russia, in 2023, China grew by 5.2%. They're projected to grow by 5% this year. And it's actually projected to slow in 2025. And in fact, that's the story with a lot of the developing markets. Russia is projected to really go down in 2025. Brazil's apparently supposed to go up next year. Saudi Arabia is projected to really explode. I don't know what was going on in 2023 in Saudi Arabia, but 4%. Meanwhile, for advanced economies, the US in 2023 grew 2.5%. This year, it's supposed to be 2.6%, and we're projected to not grow as much. So yeah, that looming recession. Germany did not grow in 2023. They're supposed to barely grow in 2024, and apparently they're going to hit 1% next year. I guess we're going to see probably so many factors to consider here. And a lot of these advanced economies not exploding as much, although obviously there's a lot more room for emerging economies to have big numbers, big results. I guess it shouldn't be surprising to see like no one's over 3% in the already advanced economies. They really got their hopes up for the UK, 0.1% last year, 0.7% this year, and then 1.5 next year. We're gonna see. Canada's supposed to do good though next year too. This is all based off latest IMF projections for GDP growth. Most common origins for town names in each US state. And surprisingly, it's not all from England. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of the East Coast is from England, but not all. Of course, we have New York, which originated from the Netherlands. This is actually way more of a diverse map than I was expecting. They've analyzed the names of over 1,000 US towns to uncover the most common country of origin for place names in each state. So it's not just one singular place. New York has multiple places that originate out of like Dutch names. So obviously when it comes to the 13 colonies, they are completely dominated by England. Surprisingly though, North Carolina and South Carolina coming more from France. Also Florida and Georgia coming more from Italy. How is this possible? How is there no Spain? I don't even know if I believe this. Even when it comes to California and Nevada, it's Italy, it's not Spain. I don't know about this. Of course, the majority of town and city names coming out of Alaska are Russian. That was a Russian colony after all. There's only one place with Spain, and that's New Mexico. Most of Oregon's town and city names are coming from Germany. There's also this mixed category, which I'm wondering if that's part of the reason why there's not more Spain. Maybe there's some Native American influences on the city names as well. How the hell is Louisiana German? Why would that not be French? I don't know about this map. Some of the mixed common origins out of Arkansas, at least, Australia, France, Germany, Slovakia, Italy, the Philippines, and Greece. There's a lot of country names I was not expecting to be on this list. Yeah, it seems like most people share my sentiments. This doesn't make sense. I think they legitimately confused the Mexican flag with the Italian flag, and rather than fix it, double down. Unsurprisingly, a lot of our names did come from the UK. Here's a couple of those examples: Lancaster, Reading, York, Winchester, Richmond, Birmingham. I mean, the list goes on and on. These are just some of the more popular examples. Islip? I've never heard of that. Yeah, so many here, again, in the 13 colonies region. But there are a couple of English town names in California, Brentwood and Westminster. I actually didn't even think about that. Wow, I live by Westminster. I forgot that you guys have that out there like near London too. Oh, that's crazy. But California, of course, has probably one of the more diverse naming systems when it comes to our towns. And we have a place named after like a Slovenian name. Carlsbad comes from Czech Republic. We have even a Scottish name. Where's it starting? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're doing like a loop around California from there to, yes. I wonder if like the people that named these cities even knew what country of origin they were coming out of. They might have just liked the name and picked it. There's a city named Mecca. I actually didn't know that. That's funny because it is kind of in the desert region of California. Oh, that's right. We do have Ontario, which we share with Canada. See, I don't know if the naming of these cities and towns really, if they were thinking about the countries they correlated with. Johannesburg, Delhi. I've never heard of so many of these places. There is this place called Timbuktu. I know we have a place called Nice, France. I mean, I've been living in California basically my whole life. I've never heard of so much of these, but to be fair, it's a lot in Northern California. I mean, I'm down here. You know, the state of New York also has a pretty wide variety of places as well. I did think it was just gonna be kind of English. There's a place called Angola in New York. Oh, there's even a Hamburg, Germany out here, or it's a Hamburg, New York. Of course, Burgerland would name one city Hamburg. Warsaw, Geneva, Vienna, Rome. I mean, dang. Peru, really? We're naming our cities after just giant countries? At least just jack one of their cities. You don't gotta, you don't gotta do them like that. That's gotta be confusing for those people. I live in Peru. You write that on the internet, that's gonna be confusing. But then again, speaking English, the state of open carry. I can't believe I've never seen this map before. There's only 3 states where you cannot open carry. We're talking firearms here, obviously. That's Florida, Illinois, and California, and then also Washington, D.C., which is not a state, but in yellow, open carry for only long firearms is allowed, which I know seems counterintuitive. So we have South Carolina and New York, but obviously handguns can be more concealed. That means that they can be possibly more dangerous. That's the logic anyways behind that. Then there's a couple states where open carry is allowed, but requires a permit for some types of weapons. I didn't know this about Texas. What are the weapons? Is it like flashbangs and grenades? Because I feel like everybody open carries in Texas. Is it a really abnormal weapon, like a tank? So permits for, I really wish, I guess we could break it down. So most states have gone the route of you need at least a permit. I shouldn't say most states, a lot of the states. Then finally, there's just red where open carry is just blankly allowed. So Alaska, Nevada, Oregon, Washington. I mean, this is still the biggest one. Michigan, Pennsylvania, no permits required. But apparently Texas no longer requires a permit for open carry or conceal and carry. So possibly more things are outdated here. More importantly, where can I open carry alcohol. I only know Las Vegas. Funny enough, that is a much more diverse map. It also depends on the cities, of course. Most of Nevada, you're not allowed to, but Vegas is chill. Yeah, this is a crazy map. How much do Olympic athletes get paid? Of course, it depends on the medal you win. So in the case of Germany, they're actually kind of lower on the list, but if you win gold, you get $21,000, $16,000 for silver, or $10 for bronze. $10,000, not $10. That'd be kind of funny, though. That'd be kind of like messed up. Then we've got Belgium, whether it's team sport or per athlete. Oh, this is not ranked. I see. So Belgium's not paying their athletes all that much over here. Oh, that's partly because of the team sport and per athlete. This is their individual athletes. Yeah, their individual athletes be making bank in Belgium. Dang, I wish I was Belgium and I was competing for something. Meanwhile, in Kazakhstan, they're like, no, screw the money. We're gonna give you either a 3-bedroom apartment for gold, a 2-bedroom, or a 1-bedroom. That is actually, damn, I like that. Especially considering like the rates here in California, it's really expensive. Like this probably not even enough. Then we got a big dog, Italy, $200,000 for winning gold, then $100,000 for silver, $67,000 for bronze. Dang, this is putting Germany to shame right here. Here's Spain when it comes to team sports and how much each athlete gets. $50,000, not bad. $30,000, $19,000. But individual athletes, it's not on Italy's level, but again, I mean, I wouldn't complain. France, who tends to get a pretty high medal count, 86,000, 42,000, 21,000. Oh boy, I'm actually really scared to look at these numbers. I have a feeling this is going to be embarrassing. 37,000 for gold, 22,000 for silver, and 15,000 for bronze. I mean, I've heard it. We've heard it all before. Our athletes are really, you know, they're not getting much. At least we're outspending Australia, though. Wow, Australia, dang. Meanwhile, Morocco, 200,000, 125,000, 75,000. They're actually the highest on this list, even beating out the person that was at the top of the, I thought the chart was showing them. Okay, anyways, Japan, 45,000, 18,000, 9,000. Does Japan not even want to win? These are crazy numbers. Yeah, I was definitely thinking the same exact thing. Norway, 0. Big thanks to my patrons this month. I tried to kidnap Drew again, but he put me in his basement. Help. Drew's Argentinian Grandpa. I can't sleep without Drew's voice. Nord, Tiger, Archaeology, aPhatNarwhal, Carmel, Sarsath, Pavlik, DaBeautiful-MEGAN-Underwood,
InquisitorXarius,
JohnDenver,
KansasWasMentioned,
KingBearHaze, LuxembourgLover,
the Sebby. If you hear this, I